I remember I first brought up the conversation of acting with my parents when I was around 6 years old. I had just watched Man on Fire on accident. My parents were very, very mad, but I snuck in on Man on Fire with Denzel Washington and Dakota Fanning. Yeah, I was 6. I was obsessed with that film, still am, and I remember I watched it, and then my mom came home from work, and I told her, "Oh, I want to be the Puerto Rican Dakota Fanning. That's gonna be what I do for the rest of my life." And my mom kind of brushed it off because I wanted to do a lot of things when I was younger. I was going to be an astronaut and then the first female president. And I just kind of was jumping around. I don't think I actually convinced my mom till I was around 9 or 10. And because I'm naturally a very, very stubborn person, I think that anytime things got hard, or being an actor, you hear more no's than yeses, or the balancing school and work and rejection. I think because I was so stubborn and so determined, and I worked so hard to convince my parents that, hey, I'm gonna do this, and if you let me do this, I'm gonna do something big. I told them, yeah, I remember I was watching Disney Channel, and my parents came home, and I went over to the room, and I was like, you know what? If you let me act, I could be on that TV on that Disney Channel show right now. Just letting you know. And then that's what I did, like 4 years later. So I think it was triumphs like that or little things that kind of kept me going. But something that I appreciated about my child actor experience is because I wasn't immersed in LA, I wasn't fully immersed in the culture. I still went to public school. I've had the same friends since I was 4 years old. I would go to work, drive home, go to school the next day. It became, I don't know, kind of just, it was two separate lives for me. And I think as I've gotten older, especially now, I think now is kind of a confusing time for me because it's blending into one life and I don't have that school experience anymore to kind of filter or dilute all that happens in this industry. So it's been kind of a learning curve. But yeah, I was very fortunate to not have the typical experience. I played soccer and when I didn't get a job because my parents didn't force me in the industry, it wasn't a scary thing. It was a fun thing. And that's what storytelling should be. My mom hated it. She scoffed, rolled her eyes, would laugh, tell me there's no way. Especially the way she said it is, "Oh, Jenna, I grew up watching, people lose their minds in that industry, because the tabloids and whatever they say about child stars gone crazy." And she said that before she had kids, she remembers hearing stories like that and thinking, man, I would never, ever put my child in that situation or allow them, So she kind of takes it as the universe slapping her wrist and basically telling her, don't try to predict or assume things. But she was not entertained by the idea at all. And it became very annoying for her, actually. She would get me monologue books from Barnes and Noble and just close the door to my room and just say, oh, here, play with this. I would either memorize monologues and read them in the mirror, or I would just come up with random scenarios. I could be eating breakfast and suddenly I was a 50-year-old man from Idaho. I don't know. I just came up with these random scenarios, but that's how I actually started acting because my mom filmed one of the monologues once because I just started hysterically crying at my brother's baseball game. And then she filmed it and she put it on Facebook and said, oh, look, she's such a drama queen or something to that effect. And one of my mom's old high school friends was best friends or was married to or something related to a casting director. So she sent it to the casting director and said, hey, what do you think about this girl? And then she set me up with a meeting with my first agency. To be fair, my mom is incredibly supportive. 6 kids, and she is the whole reason why I even work and have the career that I have. She's incredible, but she did at some point. She saw how much it meant to me, so she kind of tried to put in an effort. Like one time, she took me to one of those scam programs where, oh, come here and you'll be a Nick. Oh my God, we signed you to a manager. Call this number, and then the number is dead, and it just doesn't work. We had that experience, or she would send photos of me to agencies, and it didn't really work. So when the Facebook opportunity came up, or when the casting director reached out to us through there, she said that she would have felt guilty if she just let it go or didn't tell me about it because she had kind of waved it in my face as a possibility and that I probably would have held her against, held it against her. which is true. I would have.